Amidst the glitz and glamour of the K-pop industry, filled with spotlight, popularity, and immense pressure, there's a story that lives on and thrives in the hearts of fans. The story of Jungkook and Taehyung. Their relationship isn't just about interactions between group members, but rather an emotional journey that feels so real, warm, and touching. Many call them Taekook, a name that has become a timeless symbol of closeness. From the very beginning of their journey as trainees, there was already something quietly forming between them. Jungkook, the youngest, entered an unfamiliar world filled with pressure and uncertainty. Everything was new, overwhelming, and demanding. In contrast, Taehyung brought with him a unique warmth, an unfiltered personality, playful yet sincere, like a light that softened the edges of a difficult reality. It didn't take long before their paths intertwined in a way that felt natural, almost inevitable. As days turned into years, that connection didn't fade, it deepened. They trained together, struggled together, and dreamed together. Long hours in practice rooms, moments of doubt, and the slow climb toward debut all became shared memories. In those formative times, when everything felt fragile, they found strength in each other. It wasn't something loud or dramatic, but something steady, like a quiet promise that neither of them had to face things alone. Jungkook, often seen as reserved and introspective, revealed a different side when he was with Taehyung. Around him, there was a softness, an ease that made his guarded nature gently unfold. His laughter came more freely, his expressions more open. Though he rarely spoke in grand declarations, his actions told a story of their own. The way he paid attention, the way he stayed close, the way he instinctively looked out for Taehyung. These were the subtle, yet powerful ways he showed how much Taehyung meant to him. On the other hand, Taehyung expressed his affection in ways that were beautifully transparent. He didn't hide what he felt, whether through playful teasing, warm gestures, or sincere words. He made his care visible. There was a kind of emotional honesty in him that brought depth to their bond. He noticed things, small details others might miss, and responded with a tenderness that felt genuine and unforced. What makes their relationship so compelling is not just the visible moments of closeness, but the emotional depth beneath them. There is a sense of trust that cannot be fabricated, a quiet understanding built over years of shared experiences. They have seen each other at their best and at their most vulnerable. They have stood together on stages filled with roaring crowds, and also behind the scenes where silence carries a different kind of weight. Through it all, they remained constant in each other's lives. Fans often find themselves drawn to the smallest interactions between them. A glance that lingers just a second longer, a smile that seems to hold a hidden meaning, or the way they unconsciously gravitate toward each other in a crowded space. These moments create a narrative that feels authentic. It doesn't feel performed or constructed. Instead, it feels lived in, real, and deeply personal. And yet, perhaps the most beautiful aspect of their story lies in its openness to interpretation. People try to define what they see, to place it into categories or labels, but some connections resist simple explanations. What Jungkook and Taehyung share exists in a space that goes beyond definition. It is something to be felt rather than analyzed, something that speaks directly to the heart. As they grew older and their careers expanded beyond anything they could have imagined, their bond matured alongside them. They were no longer just young trainees chasing a dream. They became global artists, individuals shaped by experience and responsibility. Yet even with all the changes, there remained a sense of familiarity between them, like a thread that never broke no matter how far it stretched. Their journey reflects something deeply human, the need for connection, for someone who understands without needing explanations, for a presence that feels like home. In a world that constantly demands more, faster, and louder, what they have feels grounding, like a reminder that the most meaningful relationships are often the quietest ones. Taekook, for many, is not just a pairing, it is a feeling. It represents warmth, loyalty, and a kind of emotional safety that people long for. It reminds us that love doesn't always need to be grand or clearly defined to be real. Sometimes, it exists in the in-between spaces, in shared silences, in unspoken understanding, in the simple act of always being there. Over the years, their story has continued to evolve, shaped by time, distance, and growth. But rather than weakening their connection, these elements seem to have strengthened it. There is a maturity now, a depth that comes from truly knowing someone, not just who they are, but who they have become. In the end, what matters most is not how others define their relationship, but the meaning it holds for them. Jungkook and Taehyung have built something rare, an emotional bond rooted in trust, respect, and shared history. It is something that cannot be easily replicated or explained, only appreciated. Love, in all its forms, has a way of leaving a lasting imprint. And in the story of Jungkook and Taehyung, that imprint feels soft yet powerful, like a quiet melody that stays with you long after the music fades. Perhaps that is why their connection continues to resonate so deeply, because at its core, it reflects something we all understand: the desire to find someone who sees us, stays with us, and walks beside us through everything. And in that sense, their story is not just about them. It is about all of us, and the kind of connection we hope to find. Something gentle, something real, and something that feels, in every way, eternal. So what do you think about their story? Is it a beautiful friendship, a deep emotional bond, or something even more meaningful? No matter how you see it, one thing is certain: the connection between Jungkook and Taehyung has left a lasting impression on millions of people around the world. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And tell me in the comments, what does Taekook mean to you? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.